Hi, honey bunny.
Sound check and video check, please, honey bunny. Hear me okay? We've been having problems with sound lately. Hear me okay? Sound check.
Yeah, can you hear us here? Hi, Muscle Up. Give us a sound check and video check, these people.
Give us a little feedback here. Still soft on the. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Get a little closer here.
Yeah, let him know how the audio is. You start counting off.
Counting off. Sound is good here, says Dave. Okay. Oh. Hey, Dave, I got a question for you.
I forgot to disable the emoji.
Oh, whatever. You know what district? I mean, where the BLM districts are kind of where the boundaries are and everything. Because we may want to see about doing a notice of intent for BLM too. It'd be nice if it's the guy that you're dealing with. But I'm not sure where the boundaries are. Do you have any idea? We really got to find that out here. Let's see. BLM. Bound. So, I say my question is basically, do they have anything besides like the billings office? They have smaller sub offices, places. Do you have any idea? Oh, anyhow, we got plenty of exercise last weekend. More than we like, but kind of the situation. Um, the location doesn't lend itself well to getting a quad in there now.
Hi, Shane.
However, it looks doable. Okay, sounds good, Dave. Um, Part of the what we were doing this weekend, not just getting some samples from around that upper shaft there.
This guy's out of Gillen.
Yeah, I figured there would be. I'm just wondering where the other things are, where the field offices are. So, but anyhow, um, that was one of our projects. Also, try and uncover some of the structure. It was pretty clear where the structure supposedly went, pretty close to that the grate, and so we were able to find it there. A little further away, another 5 or 6 feet away, I didn't really see much, but I didn't bring another thing I put on the list. The whisk broom.
A small one that I can carry.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the problem, honey bunny, is some of the stuff we got from there is a whole lot actual here than others, even though they look.
Yeah. So we took the samples that we acquired this weekend out to the ranch today and crushed them up in the RC46 and hand panned them. And none of them had hardly any pannable gold at all. But whatever we did get in the pan was extremely small. So it's possible that what we've got is just really, really small gold there. Don't know. We took two of the most critical samples and sent them off for assay, and another sample, what we took actually last fall over there at top of the hill, but for whatever reason hadn't panned them out yet. And so when we panned those out last week, we found one that looked like it deserved an assay. So that's on the way too. At the same time, I've got some bottle rolls running here from dump sample that we get. And so got five analyses from the ridge area and one from top of the hill in progress. And we'll see what happens there. Technically, it shouldn't be too hard to get to that upper shaft with the quad. It's going to take several days of work building, making the path, but not a big deal. Yeah, I agree, Shane. I just didn't remember to bring any with me. That's the problem. But so let's say we fulfilled the goals of this in terms of scouting a route, getting the samples we needed from up top there. We also took samples from a mine halfway down the hill, which, if we eventually create a quad path up to that upper shaft, then it'd be right on the way. It had a dump sitting there. We've sampled the interior of that before. There was some decent samples, but there wasn't much in the way of any amount of anything good that we could find without doing a lot of work. And so we kind of left that line alone, but there is a dump there, a small dump. Looks like it was ore for shipping. And so I took a sample of that and see how that goes. Okay. And not that I'm aware of, Honey Bunny. Although Eva did see something very interesting on the satellite photographs yesterday, wasn't it?
And as Shane points out, a wire brush will help clean up some of the light moss.
Yeah. And looks quite interesting. It's not terribly far away from the bridge. And as far as I can tell, it's both BLM land and unclaimed. So we probably need to take a run over there and take a peek. I can't tell for sure if it's old mining stuff because it's satellite and sometimes it's not terribly clear. But the disturbances that were in a linear array were bigger than Montana B. They're easier to see than Montana B is on the satellite. Um, well, the dust is not going to be in general any more or significantly more concentrated than the ore um, from which it came. And so it would seem unlikely that that would be very profitable.
Well, in the case of Montana B, line.
Yeah, they were better than the original ore in terms of grade, not in terms of tonnage. Um, say it sometimes it when you got real microfine gold, it will tend to float pretty substantially. But uh, generally, if you have gold that's that easy to float off, it's gonna dissolve pretty well in a leach solution, which would be more economic.
Oh, wow.
It's not just a matter of what's possible, but what's reasonably economical, or most what.
California's legislature just voted to raise gas prices another 65 cents.
Possibly go wrong.
It's in the tailings. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I say right now we're in the early stages of examining that, and I still need to get up back on that hillside where the presumed cross faulting is and expose that. We shall see, honey bunny. Again, it becomes a matter of economics. You know, if it costs you $1 per pound to dissolve the rock and it only contains 10 cents per pound, make money. Well, we got to. Hello, adventures. So, I say, I need to check that cross fault out. I think that I can dig that out if I have a little more. It was hot this weekend. That was not helpful. I've been sitting around a lot because heart attack, and uh, it was hot. It wasn't the easiest thing to accomplish either. I mean, poor Eva's got blisters on her feet. You know, it was just not the easiest thing in the
No, and
world.
that's why this thing over here, I do know came from the backpack. That's why I was holding that strap on the backpack every time I could
I don't know.
use my left hand.
Oh.
What about the static collection?
Not familiar with them, wage slave. And if they're used on placer gold, which I presume they are, they might not work for the real microfine gold found in hard rock, but I simply don't know. So I have no opinion. Say it. Weather wasn't too bad, except for had to be out in it. The I did take the opportunity to fix the ventilation fan in the camper. The variable speed switch had become discombobulated. Worse than this morning, little one? Okay.
Actually, it burned. It was uncomfortable.
More salve on. But anyhow, oh, we could do it right now while people are watching. I know some some of the viewers will find it. But anyhow, so um, that was basically it there. Down in Central America, haven't got uh, any real results over the last few days or whatever. They were kind of reconfiguring these things and then going to try and run some tonnage, but I haven't heard any word. When both of them are down there, they work pretty hard, and talk to each other when only one of them is down there, more likely to call me up and bounce something off me. So they're both down there right now. I just got informed before the live stream that, in fact, ALS has finally completed the analyses that we got to them all those many weeks ago. But because both the principals are in Central America and the office is up here, they're having trouble paying for it, and they don't give you the results if you don't pay first, not unless you've got a credit account. So I have no idea what the actual answers are yet. Neither do the principals at this point. So don't have any results there. The output screen on the ball mill seemed to be working reasonably well in a short, 5 or 10 minute test run. So hopefully they'll get some more more tonnage moving through there here shortly. Yeah, it's just one of those weeks where there's not a heck of a lot going on, except routine things. Got the tank out at the ranch all filled up and cooking, and I've got square plates for Eva to hard face, probably Wednesday, I guess. And good Lord, we go out there and stake a placer claim. Maybe Thursday, next to the load claim we stake. That taken care of. Hey, aside from that, not much going on. I wish I had real exciting end results to talk about, but it looked pretty crap. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, there wasn't much in the way of cannibal. It could be pretty rich, like hard to tell. Assay. Actually, David, it turned out it was a leak heater hose that wasn't leaking all the time. It was running down the heater hose onto the top of the water pump and then around. And last Tuesday, when we went over to the hospital to drop me off for the cardiac rehab, it was leaking pretty good. And so I was actually able to trace it where it was coming out. Of course, it was on the bottom of the heater hose, or you couldn't see it. And then the next day, I went and burst at it a bit because, I mean, you got a heater hose this long to replace. How hard can that be, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that took about 4 hours, all things together. First of all, getting it apart. That way, there was another heater hose in the way, and it's like, if I got to take it off, I might as well replace it. What the hell? They had all those stupid spring clamp hose clamps instead of the screw type. And, they work fine if you can get a tool in there. So it was more annoying than I would have liked, but it wasn't horrible. And we were able to get the hose fixed. I haven't seen any kind of leaks since. And Bugs is still working okay, but I really need to get that carburetor changed out. And I called my daughter, her son's a mechanic, see what rebuilt carburetor to put on there. He's a big fan of Holley's opposed to Rochester. I think it's because you can adjust a Holly easier than Rochester. Rochesters work well, tend to stay adjusted, but they're tricky to get adjusted.
Okay. Shift 5, talking about static. Wage Slave was suggesting static collectors are dealing with our slimes, I believe. Huh. Yesterday I found a forgotten mysterious jar in my storage that looked like silver chloride, so I added nails and tap water and kept the pot. Today it all looks dark gray. No sulfuric acid.
That could be.
By the way,
Not familiar with the chemistry on that
apparently
particular one.
Liam Cunningham is going with Greta Thunberg and
Oh, good.
Game of Thrones quality movie.
I'm glad they're going to solve the world's problem in one trip. Fantastic. So happy. I'm a little curious about something, little one. Didn't you tell me not to bring up politics?
I was saying that you're okay. I meant the other politics. Hi, David.
So anyhow, yeah, I think we got the leak fixed there. Also, last year when I tried to swap out the two fuel valves on the truck, one for the return line, one for the fuel line, things got a little cattywampus, so I went back to the old system, but it seems like I got the two fuel lines reversed. So I'd be, whatever tank I had selected, I was sucking from the other tank and turning to, it was just kind of messed up. So I pulled the fuel hoses off and switched them. Now it seems to be running fine. The way it's supposed to. And the truck's running just fine. I put a direct drive fan on there. I got the clutch off, and it's running nice and cool now. It's runs ridiculously cold in the wintertime, but I don't use it too much in the wintertime. If I have to, I'll just put cardboard in front of the radiator. But during the summertime, when I'm pulling grades at low speeds and reasonable power outputs, yeah, it's keeping it nice. It's not even getting up to 180 degrees. So that's good.
Yep, Bugs Boy is real well.
Yeah, doing fine. And that's about it. Waiting for results, doing tests. If this particular material that we're exploring right now does turn out to have a good grade, then we'll probably switch back to the Stutenroth to grind it, because the sluice isn't going to do us any good, and the Stutenroth can crush a lot faster than the bob mill. And I'll just have to, like I used to, and just dump the bucket in the tank by hand. And not a problem as far as I can. Bob mill does wear out impactor significantly faster than Stutenroth. Stutenroth doesn't grind it pretty fine. Gee, there might be a connection.
Wow, that like never happened. But at least it wasn't bird. Very rare softball injury.
Really?
The chick did a pitch, and there was a dirt clod that came up from her shoe. The ball hit the dirt clod, took some of the dirt with it, and when the ball went into the catcher's mitt, the dirt flew up in through the catcher's mitt grate and got into the catcher's eye.
Wow. This is why you don't play around with dirty balls.
And so everybody said, at least it wasn't a bird. Remember Randy Johnson? And all the young folks said,
What?
what? Or when somebody posted the video, they said, that's got to be CGI. That didn't happen.
No, it happened. It was before CGI.
Oh, yeah. Somebody asked Groke right away, did it happen? And Groke said, yes.
Oh, yeah.
The bird was unfortunate.
As a matter of fact, I believe that was in Tucson.
Yes, it was.
And
according to the video, it was.
Weren't we selling that game?
I don't know.
I think we were. Yeah, I think we were actually at that game.
Yeah, I saw the video. That pigeon or whatever it was. Yeah, it turned into a
poof.
Poof. Yeah.
Hey, Colorado.
Hi, Colorado drone.
Oh, that would be Brian. Hi, Brian. How's it going? And so I say if we actually start producing from that upper shaft or whatever, then actual production wise, it's not that deep. It'd be pretty easy to set up there. Yeah, once we get a road, path built for quad. And the other thing I was thinking the other day was, we wouldn't even need a winch up there. We could use a quad to actually pull the carriage up the ladder track. So that might work out pretty well. We'd have a much longer tram drive the buckets of ore down the hill, but on the scheme of things, that's not that bad.
Oh wow, what a weird.
Yeah, Harry. So it would be kind of nice.
Oh, we don't actually have any goodies to show until this week, Late Wage Slave. I'm just mindlessly watching the new engagement farming on X. Really see an uptick in farming.
Really?
Yeah, this time I'm watching something. It's a video of drunk shrimp. It's a traditional Chinese dish where live or fresh shrimp are soaked in alcohol with aromatics while they're still alive.
So get them drunk, then boil.
Yeah, they're all flipping around inside the thing at your table, and then they pick them up one by one, and torch them.
They torch them individually. Okay.
Or they set the whole thing on fire.
Not sure.
But anyway, it's called drunk shrimp. It's very odd.
Yeah, people are.
Oh yeah.
There's a bit of that.
Ooh, that was good.
So anyhow, it's got potential at the moment. I have to get the key from BLM to get in there, I guess. I'm gonna take it much further, although if the material structure continues on, it would be really easy to go over to the saddle and start declining too. So I'm not sure. So we'll have to see how it all goes. But it's a little rough being a geezer. Oh, I never was a big fan of hiking up and down steep hills, but
I will say the engagement farming is increasing to a good level on X because somebody was in a modern day Jaws situation.
Huh? CGI.
No, actually it wasn't. The dorsal fin never broke the water, but when it went by the boat, they got a glimpse of that nice huge shark. Probably a nursing shark rather than a great white, but fucking big as a boat.
Shark.
Yeah.
Or a bad
Well,
shark.
it's about as big as the boat. This is one of those, we're going to need a bigger boat. That claim is the principal's.
Yeah. That is somebody else.
Ours we will be showing again when we go take a look at a few others this week.
Yeah, we got to go take that placer up there. Got a nice little creek there. Might be someplace that'll work out well when people want to come by and visit or something. Take them up panning gold there. I'm sure there's some gold up there. All those hills have gold in them. So some gold in that creek, but I don't know if it's sufficient to be fun. Who knows? It doesn't have near the view that the ridge does. That's got a pretty good view, you have to admit.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, I even went and we only have a black and white printer. So I made a picture to take to rehab tomorrow so I can show the people there. I said, this is the view from my office. Oh, oh dear. Anyone got any questions or anything? Brock watched that video yesterday, and he's of the strong opinion that thing that I thought was a cross fault was in fact a cross fault. Yeah, gold will tend to settle onto the bottom, sure. That would work. So, anyhow, got a lot of things going on, but not much really worth announcing, so to speak. Jeff Kablock should be here in a few weeks, and then hopefully we'll be doing a lot of work over there on his claim. Hopefully we'll get the guys in Central America doing well, and they can provide the financing to build a bigger bob mill. And that'll be something to do. And pretty soon we should be headed back to the top of the hill. We're waiting for some responses from people to see if we can get access. There's private property there that if we can just take the old road across their private property, it will save us an enormous amount of work.
Oh, hello.
So, I say we got that queued up. There's one sample we took from there last fall and hadn't tested it until a short time ago. It was good enough. There's a dump there that it was good enough. We sent it off for assay too. Again, lots of interesting things, but no real exciting announcements at this point. Kind of a bummer. Not real exciting.
Yeah, it's been a very quiet start to
Yeah. Well,
we do have that bottle roll.
oh yeah, got 3 bottles rolling right now. It's going to be 2 weeks before we get any answers. Oh, because take it down to the lab. I was thinking of running. What? And hey, Mr. Virtue. And so we can go ahead and get those in. We've already got the stuff shipped off to Hiddle. We're waiting on the assays from ALS. Waiting for progress report from Central America. They've got a local lab lined up there to start doing assays for them. I think, if I recall, it was going to be like about a 3-day turnaround time for them. They'd take their split sample, bag sample, down to the bus station, put it on a bus. It'll go to the town where the lab is. The lab will pick it up at the bus station, run it, take about 2 days process time, and then they'll send them back the results via email, internet somehow. So we'll get some results there too. So we're still like waiting on results everywhere. Oh, gold was 3,400, silver was 35.
I will double check those prices right now.
I just did an hour ago.
Well, I'm checking them again now. So
Oh,
sure.
Go away. Be that way. See if I care.
Regardless, they are both still on sale.
Hey, Alex, how's
Hi,
it going?
Alex, how goes it? Hi, Mr. Virtue.
I don't have any big tonnage stuff going on just yet, Alex. I'm working about 6 ways from Sunday. Did you know that we're consulting with some people down in Central America right now?
Currently, gold is $33.79, silver is $34.00. They are both still on sale.
So, I presume that things are still going good in Bozeman, Alex. With you. And yeah, it's frustrating. Got lots to do, not much information. Oh. Not really. Say, got to check up on BLM. We'll see who covers the area that bridge.
Well, when we get up to our claim, I would like to get a whole pyrites. I can.
Yeah, they had plenty of pyrites. Yeah, that could cause complications, Alex.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think things are a bit unsettled right now. Hey, Rock, how's it going?
Hi, Rock Butcher. Oh, you just got the notification too. Okay, just to let you know, people start double checking that notification bell every time we put out a video because mine was on, and when this was coming up, I went to check and it had gone off again. So yeah, YouTube is once again screwing up the notification bell.
Thank you for your feedback on that video, Rock. Yeah, that's offset about 50 feet from that saddle I was in last time, previous video. But there's another very similar saddle, say about 50 feet over. And that is where that structure was just below. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, Alex. That's why the geology advisor at University of Arizona said, don't worry about getting a metallurgical degree or get a material science degree with a heavy grounding in extractive metallurgy, because you never know how the market's going to be, but material science is everything, So I think that's pretty good advice in general, Alex. What's your opinion on that? Go for a more generalized degree with a good focus on what you're really interested in. That way, it's easy to apply the degree to different things if you have to. Well, there's two kinds of um, structure there. You got this side view. You have these steep dipping sedimentary beds, and top view, this dipping way. And up at Montana B, you got a cross fault here, what we call the perpendicular vein. What?
Rock asks you, what are the wall rocks either side of the fault? Right side looks sedimentary, left side looks like a dog's breakfast.
They're all sedimentary there.
Well, part of the reason it looked like a dog's breakfast is the 3 or 4 different types of lichen that tend to grow on the different colors of the sedimentary wall rock.
Okay. These are all sedimentary rocks, mainly quartzite sandstone, some dolomite, some real fine grained quartz sandstone. And I say at Montana B, this structure here, they mined and soaked that a bit. Then over here, between a couple sedimentary layers, and the one that was really convenient was up above was like a 6-foot bed of hard quartzite sandstone, tough stuff. I mean, they had places 50 feet across of back, you know.
Yeah. Alex said up above there, combined engineering geology degree, fantastic plan to become a mine geologist. Got a minor in mining engineering.
Yeah. So my thought is, when I showed this video, another cross fault, I'll call it a cross fault, and what we're looking at right now on the top of the ridge where that grade is, that is in between the bedding planes. What?
Alex says if you want to go into engineering geology, skip geology and go straight to geotech engineering.
Yeah.
Get your engineer training.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. But so I think what we might have there, this would be, like you say, the conduit that brought stuff up. Now the other thing that we got here, rock, I'm gonna diagram this from a side view. According to the geology reports, got these.
I'm going to zoom him into the whiteboard again.
Got these dipping structures in the valley here.
As soon as he's out of the way, I'll zoom in.
And the next ridge over is like this. And so, in my mind, there has to be a major fault here. These dipped like that. I would think this might be a very interesting thing to sample if you happen to have a drill in your back pocket that could go down a couple 100 feet. You know?
Well, that new area is going to be interesting. Rock says dolomite will provide the carbon.
Yeah, it seemed to me that the cross faults were more crack filling veins, and what we call the pack rat structures seem to be more replacement veins in the dolomite. And that's my operating theory right now. And this major fault going down the valley, I think, is would be interesting to drill. So that's my kind of guesstimate as to what's going on. But that's one reason why I want to get that. And correct me if I'm wrong. What would you call it if something better than cross fault? There, I mean, it's running basically perpendicular to the stratigraphy of the uh, sedimentary beds. Um, and I don't know why, but you can see it further up the valley. There's another structure like that, and but you got these two different kinds of structures. There's the perpendicular faults and the interbedded layers, and I think they're associated, but they're definitely different. Um, and my thought was too, up on top of that ridge, actually everywhere, it might be interesting to take a metal detector and instead of looking for gold or metals, just look for hot rocks. Because this stuff is running 35% iron, you know? Magnesium is dominated by the Chinese,
Yeah.
which is funny because a lot of magnesium, Alex, isn't most of the magnesium separated from seawater? At least when I was going to school, it was. I don't know if they've got anything different now. So, yeah, that's the problem, honey bunny. Magnesium is everywhere. So it's not easy to find theoretically something that's competitive in terms of concentration or whatever. No, I haven't, David. Um, hadn't really noticed a lot of magnetic iron there, but I never really looked for it. Yeah, it's I say these faults actually cross the the bedding planes at about 90 degrees. Bedding planes are tipped 60 degrees, running north south, and what I call the cross faults are going east west. You know, huh? Sounds about right, Alex. Um, so that's what I'm trying to say. Those faults are they're independent of both this fault that I presume is there, otherwise you wouldn't have these tipped blocks like this, or the bedding planes themselves. They what I call cross faults would be more like the plane of the whiteboard here, you know. And so I say that the cross fault at what we call the perpendicular vein was mined, and it had some decent ore grades in it. But the biggest tonnage moved was what we call the pack rat structure, which was offset. Uh, I think they mined up to within 10 or 15 feet of the perpendicular vein, and then it went maybe 100 feet further over, you know, and they also tunneled along the bedding plane where the pack rat structure was on the other side of the perpendicular vein for about 50 feet with no luck. They didn't get anything. Hey, John. So that's kind of my guess would be that the what I call perpendicular veins are, like you say, feeder structures where the crack goes down quite a ways, and that's where the solutions were coming up. And when they hit those dolomite structures, they could eat into them and go to the side. That's my guess. I'm not a geologist, but that would be my guess as to what happened. And that dog hole number 2 also looks like, again, I'll call it a pack rat structure. That's one between the bedding planes, in parallel with the bedding planes. That looked like it had a lot of iron in it, but it also, the first sample we took when we crushed it and panned it, it also had some pyrites. And that was unusual. That's the first pyrites we've seen there.
I'm still wondering if we somehow get contamination.
Then why did it contaminate in the middle of a bunch of runs? Nothing, 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 nothing. Yes, nothing, 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 nothing.
I don't know.
How do you cross-contaminate when everything around it didn't have any?
Maybe some rock was stuck somewhere.
I don't know.
Forever. I don't know. I'm just saying. Doesn't.
Thank you, Rock.
Because I was looking very carefully when we were up there.
I agree. It's a real anomaly.
You know me. I can see right away.
But to sit there and to say, well, it looks like cross-contamination, I'd say, yeah. It was like the first one of the day, or we just did something before it today. If anything that day had any pyrites except the one sample, which was right in the middle of everything else, I might be a little more amenable to that theory.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen none on that hill.
No, that hill just doesn't tend to have pyrites. So I don't know. I mean, theoretically, someday we'll be up there working around dog hole number 2, exposing some more and taking some more samples. But it would be nice to do it after we get a path up there so we could get a generator in the Hilti. That's my thought. As long as we're just doing a handwork path up there, it's not going to be visible from down below. So I don't think BLM should have too much trouble. It's really not that rough terrain right on top of that ridge. So there's lots of interesting stuff we're looking at, but until we get some assays back, it's all pure speculation. They're still waiting for assay results and stuff. They've been busy this week, and I didn't have a chance to just touch base with them and see what was going on. But theoretically, they should be running some ore through the mill this week and seeing how the new changes made out, but haven't heard anything. We shall see what we shall see. It's still ongoing, I can tell you that. So we shall see. It'll be fun to get numbers right now.
Yeah.
What do we have? One assay of head ore?
Yeah, one.
One. That's it.
And the thing is, I mean, ALS has dropped the ball all the way along the line anyway.
Yeah. Even hiking that up there wouldn't be much fun, Kodak. That's what I'm saying. If we wind up working up there by the I'll call it the ridge shaft, and it's only 600 feet further over, pretty easy terrain to get on that.
Basically, fill up on the right side. Fill up. Right up down.
Well, that sounds good. Your budget limitations may vary.
So question. Can we use a human-operated drill to do this, like the kind that you put?
No.
It would only take a couple of centuries.
Talking about.
I know what he's talking about. The bottle roll stuff looks real juicy, Wade Slade, but I'll tell you, this ore is weird all the way around anyway. Because I, there were a couple of times up there at Montana Beach, same complex,
Same ridge.
Where we had 2 or 3 types of rock that visually look pretty much the same colors, same weights, etc., vastly different values.
Yeah.
Some of them are porous and some are not.
So,
that doesn't help either.
So, as I say, it's one of those things
Oh my
that
God.
we'll have to get some results back. If we can confirm at the new location that the bottle roll works fine, then we can shift to primarily bottle roll tests instead of fire assays.
I didn't know bunnies ate strawberries.
Why not? Why wouldn't a bunny eat strawberries?
I just didn't know that bunnies ate strawberries, but there's a slow motion video of a bunny strawberries too.
Oh yeah, bunnies. Yep.
Yeah, the bunny rescue is still getting terrorized by the dudes in the rescue. So he said, this is a bunny ranch. We advocate bunny, not trans people or a guy told them that they're deranged. They don't advocate.
Not our business.
Yeah. Their business is a bunny rescue. And this bunny is so cute eating strawberries and get the little
Oh yeah,
red. Oh,
yeah. Bunnies, cute little punchers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are pack rats.
Oh, look at this one.
Yep, a lop. Yep.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, when they got the ears like that.
Lop ears?
That's a lop. It's actually a breed.
Yeah, pack rats are cute. They're fast.
Yeah, so damaging. Have you seen any more damage at the lab?
No, I haven't, but I'm pretty sure that was a baby raccoon. That was a juvenile raccoon rather than pack. Because those hands are hands.
Yeah.
We did not show y'all the pictures, but his rubber boots, and we're talking thick rubber. I mean, they were like thick rubber boots.
They were just regular rubber
They
boots.
got et all up over winter.
Must be the salt from the sweat.
Yeah, they done got et up. I'm pretty sure it was a raccoon, juvenile raccoon.
Well, whatever it was, or at least one of the whatevers it was, also ate into the package of rodent poison and scarfed a lot of that up. Hey, Lars, how's it going? How's things getting along after the big fire? Got things back under control? We're finally out in the field again here. Oh. Goodness. No, I don't have a donkey. Soylent Green is people. No house yet. Well, I would imagine that's going to be a while, Lars. American Analytics. Where was that? Osborne item. Okay, got it. We're not in a motorhome. Oh, I think he's talking to Lars. Of course, it's Lars's fault. But they got lots of things to do. Right now, getting them done, gonna take a little time. It is nice to be out in the field again.
Yeah.
You got forest fires out there somewhere else now, Rock? Oh, yeah. You probably are right now, because all those forests out west of you would move the smoke that way, huh? I'm gonna have to take a short break. Little one, cover for a minute.
Kid slept all night in the barn with a sick cow.
This sick cow.
Yep. Hi, everybody. So, X has been extraordinarily weird lately. I've pretty much given up on any realistic experience on X because of late, all of a sudden, my entire feed is full of people speaking German, people speaking Russian, people speaking several different varieties of Arabic, I believe, and all very, very rude, nasty people talking about very, very bad things. The kind of things that the goddess 100% totally disapproves of. So when I'm on there at all, I have to start blocking everybody. Just, blocking and muting everybody to try to get to see ordinary people. Well, when I do that, I get nothing but engagement farming. And I will say this, since the last and latest algorithm change where Broke, the great and powerful delusional AI, took over the algorithm, the quality of engagement farming has gone way up. Like right now, I got an adorable set of videos of bunnies eating strawberries. And I got a picture of a kid who slept all night in the barn with his cow. And let's see what else we got. And we got all kinds of Chinese food and Italian food, other weird foods, and really, really cool stuff. I mean, except that I'm still not friends, but oh well. Rock, I had heard that things were burning very badly up there, and that really, really sucks.
That's Saskatchewan.
He says that Manitoba, Sask, and Alberta are all burning hard right now. But anyway, so X is pretty much a useless experience right now because either I'm looking at extremely horrible, graphic, disgusting things of several different varieties put on by foreign people, or I'm looking at weird engagement videos and shorts. If I want to see that kind of stuff, I'll go on. Because most of them come. Other than that, I do want to get up to our claim again so that I can get a hold of some more samples so I can get some more pyrites to play with because we have lots of pyrites. So, Wage Slave, I have a bunch of friends and I'm in several different communities on X and it was really cool, but unfortunately, I never see anything from my friends anymore. I have to go hunt them down if I want to see. But anyway, my plan is to get a hold of some of our pyrites and do some experimenting. I want to see different ways of getting them into a form where I can get the material out of them. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get the material silver out of the galena, but I want the silver. He can worry about that stupid. I am the silver person. And I am looking forward to possibly finding some interesting stuff on that placer. Here's hoping that we find a good placer spot so we can, pick up some of that yellow stuff for him and he can do some fishing and all that good stuff.
Not many big fish there.
Yeah, not many big fish. And hopefully little brook. And yes, Kodak, apparently last night there were beautiful aurora that we're seeing all the way down in North Carolina and seen in Washington and in Oregon. Unfortunately, I didn't see any here, but then again, I slept through. So, saw great pictures online. But here he is again, and remember, Silver and gold are still on sale, so you should back up the truck because the physical find is what you really want. Crypto is okay, and I think I'm going to enhance my forecast when it comes to prices. I'm thinking we may end up with a new practical floor for gold by the end of the summer of 35.50 and a practical floor for silver of $34 to $35 an ounce. So we're still keeping that 100-to-1 ratio, which is ridiculous. That ratio should have started coming down by now. When silver finally breaks out, we may well go to the moon. Forget those other, the platinum group metals are not doing anything of interest, really. As a matter of fact, platinum itself is heavily undervalued right now. And for anybody who's curious, the demand for platinum in China for the jewelry trade and making white gold has freaking gone through the roof of late. In China and in Asia as a whole, there's been a tremendous surge in the retail platinum market. So you might want to look into getting some platinum in your stack while it is still so heavily undervalued. Oh, you didn't see any, Jeff? That's too bad. I mean, I saw gorgeous pictures from Washington, Oregon, Indiana, Ohio, and uh, Pennsylvania. So some people saw some really good ones last night. But
I looked out the back window before I went to bed, and
but basically, I'm thinking we're going to have a practical floor on both metals. $3,500 for gold, $35 for silver, and that's going to be our practical floor going into fall. In terms of other things going on, certain segments of the economy look like they're actually beginning to go into a deflationary cycle, and the housing bubble burst is beginning to pick up speed. This is going to get out of control and go off the hook pretty fast when they finally manage to lose control of it, because they're already having serious problems with housing backlog, and people are underwater on properties they bought at the top of the curve a couple of years ago. Interest rates are not really coming down, and the housing market is in bad shape. On top of that, well, thanks to certain government policies and certain migration going on out of the country, in some places people are actually reporting that their rent is going down for the first time in like ever. It's freaking people out that their rent is going down. And I get that because rent normally never goes down. It either stays the same or it goes up. So that is something very odd happening in a few places. And it's really, really weird. I'm going to start keeping a closer eye on that one. Consumer sentiment is in a very strange place. And that's understandable because, there's all kinds of strange things going on in terms of economics. But we do have this housing bubble that's about to get out of control. We do have some voices that I actually would pay attention to. Like Jamie Dimon, are talking about the fact that the bond market is not going to be in good shape. So there's a few things we're going to have to watch in the economy that may cause both gold and silver to break out in a radical direction for entirely different reasons if it continues into late fall. And yes, muscle property tax does need to go down, but that is not going to happen in your blue states. It is possible that it'll happen in your red states. Kodak, as to where rent moved lower, believe it or not, I have seen reports from middle of nowhere, Idaho. I have seen reports from the eastern side of Oregon, as far from Portland as you get, and around Cleveland, Ohio, and Indiana. Why? No idea why. You never know. So at the moment, The goddess's advice on keeping a long-term pantry still holds, and my advice on buying gold and silver still holds. And like I said, you might look getting a little platinum if you can get some at or near spot, because right now platinum is actually undervalued. So there is that, you know. I mean, that's the thing. And here he is. Strawberry vodka, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Hey, Rock, if you're still there, or anyone else from Canada, I know you got big fire issues there. Is this due to drought or poor forest management in general? I'm just kind of curious. What's the cause? I know over here we got poor forest management.
Actually, all tax should be gone. But yeah, we've got poor forest management here. At least the feds state is pretty good.
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah, I was just curious. All the above, yeah. You just, sometimes the weather just screws you over, but around here we've got some bad forage management places. It's just insane. You've seen some of the videos where we're just climbing over dead tree over dead tree over dead tree. They were caused by humans. In other words, they were intentionally set for like uh, fuel management or something, or was it something else? Because sounds pretty serious up there. Truth is, forests are simply too large to manage. Okay, I can understand that, Rock.
That makes perfect sense, actually.
Probably heavy equipment, huh? Just accidentally caught some stuff on fire. Yeah, that'll happen. No, you have such an
Oh,
enormous.
you noticed my shirt, Kodak. Mm-hmm.
You've got such an enormous forested area and such a low population um, for that area that, yeah, I can see. I mean, is it even possible to harvest? I mean, in a reasonable manner, harvest enough wood to be used places in order to uh, at least limit the abilities of fires to move from yar to thar, sort of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like just
Somebody
a gigantic problem.
smoking a mess of fish.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do it. Huh. Grouser bars strike sparks when they go over like those metal tracks.
Oh, wow.
The grouser bars are, you got the track pad and it's got those
Okay,
bars sticking
yeah.
up. Those are the grouser bars.
So it would be kind of the same phenomenon as they say 80% of our wildfires are caused
Safety
by
chains.
safety chains on trailers bouncing on the pavement, throwing sparks.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the
Same phenomenon. Yep. Yeah, wage slave. That's correct, but it can cause some serious problems in certain times and locations.
Aw, the bunnies are bouncing now.
Trying to block out this. Well, they're going to be doing some testing, supposedly. I don't trust them, but I don't know if they got enough they can do. They do harvest gray fire, but again, the forests are just big. Cut more, but are. I could understand that. I know you guys on the West Coast sell a lot to Asia too, don't you?
Hi, John.
Hey, John, haven't seen you in a while.
Well, you do have beautiful lumber up there. We've got beautiful lumber down here, or we would have if people would let us take care of our forest.
Yeah, I mean it's just a mess down here around where we're at. I don't think we tell Hans to improve their forest management.
Yeah. No, their forest management sucks. The known fact. I know is working alone, sparked a fire and all mountainside with all
I think you meant a dozer.
dozer probably.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised, Jeff. My brother had the idea of taking A10s, turning them into water bombers. That way, fire starter, you just slam it real fast, and it's like, yeah, real expensive compared to this other planes that can do the job just as well. Water bombing doesn't require the kind of things that an A10 does. I wouldn't be surprised, wage slave. This is why I was wondering. They've got enormous forests, but I don't know the logistics and the demand and things like that as to whether or not you could realistically harvest in sufficient quantity to really mitigate the fire risk to a substantial extent. You probably could around towns and cities, and I don't know. That's a lot of forest up there, and then you got Siberia too. You know. We do have C-130s that are retrofitted. Well, not necessarily retrofitted, but they're seasonally fitted as water bombers. That little AT-4 air tractor, that's a nice plane for the detail work, so to speak. But you know, it's just a serious problem. I was also yeah, that's what I was wondering, Rock. If it could, uh, even if you could get the permits, is there the market for that amount of wood? Is my question. I don't know if you could even sell that much, softwood. I know they're in the rainforest. They're harvesting the hardwood, but I just don't know if there's that much. Hey, Jean-Francois. Yep. We're still in the middle of a lot of stuff without a whole lot of results hither, thither, and yon, Jean-Francois. But we're making some progress up on that hill. It's a little rough. We're both kind of out of shape. Eva is tough, I got to admit. She's got grit. She was up there hiking. Well, by the end of the first day, you had blisters on your feet, didn't you?
Yep. And yeah. I still soldiered on.
Yep. And so she's pretty tough, but by the last day she allowed me to go up on the hill by myself while she rested a bit. Sampling went good, but we don't know what the results are. Um, so we're going to be waiting another week or so. Yeah, we've got some people from down here in the, I don't know what you call it, South 40, South 48. Some years ago, I heard somebody say, "Yep, I'm from Canada. We're we're bigger than the United States, and we're on top. If we were in prison, that'd make you the bitch." I thought that was pretty hilarious. Uh, but anyhow, um, so we're waiting on results on a lot of things, but we got the samples we needed, and we got most of the work done we needed to do up there at the Montana Bee Ridge. Um, we'll see exactly what we do this week. Not sure, but we're going to be staking a claim, placer claim up here next to our load claim, and uh, I'd like to check out that spot you found on the satellite too, little one. But too far from Montana Bee, we might be able to. We need to find a little more work to do to justify a trip to Montana Bee, though. So that's about it right now. Got lots of kind of waiting around to do while we wait for samples to come back. Got maintenance, got to take a claim for ourselves. Blah blah blah. Everything's going pretty well, and while I was pretty tired last Saturday when I was hiking up there, it was at the end of a pretty long hike, and it was like 90 degrees, and I'm out of shape. So the heart seems to be doing okay. I didn't feel anything like that, but I am out of shape. I'll give it that.
Me too.
Uh, so anyhow, that's what's going on. Anyone got any questions or anything at this point? Not sure what else to report on. Got lots of irons in the fire. That's for sure. Yep. Stress testing the pump. Uh, you could say so. I've been very careful to uh, keep it. I mean, within the realm of what I've been doing in the cardiac rehab stuff. I got another appointment tomorrow. I'll have to crank up the resistance even higher. But somebody brought up. I was watching a video on it. It just seems intuitively obvious to me. If you're running on an inclined treadmill or stepping on an inclined treadmill, is it as hard as if you're climbing up a hill? Answer: no. Your legs may be doing the same movements, but you're not lifting your body against gravity. Of course, it's not going to be as much effort, you know? No, I haven't had a chance, wage slave. We tried to get up there years ago and weren't able to get there.
Well, you also carry your nitroglycerin now.
Yep, my nitro case. Haven't had to use it, but trying to be careful. But uh, if you're just going to lay around and do nothing, you might as well be dead. I agree, honey bunny. I mean, unless you're just jogging like a madman, and I'm not coordinated enough to do that. I see people on those treadmills when they're just at a full run, you know, like, holy crap, I would crash and burn something horrible. It'd make great video, but a lousy experience. And so, as I say, that, I'm sitting there walking on the treadmill with the rehab, 3.3 miles an hour, 2% grade, and it's like, yeah, now you go out there and actually try and walk up a 2% grade and see how fast you can go. I don't think so, wage slave. I don't believe it's shock sensitive. I do believe it is the exact same chemical, you know. Well, it's well, your body. Let's suppose something. You're lifting your legs. I will agree with that, Jean-Francois. But your center of mass does not increase its distance from the center of the earth. That is a separate and additional expenditure of energy required, you know? And so you're moving your legs, and then it's inclined, you got to pick them up a little higher to put them down. But you're again not lifting the weight. I mean, you can sit there and I'm holding the chair. Holding the chair. It takes more effort. You know? So I say, to me it's pretty obvious. Let's see. Um, I say the nitroglycerin is got two purposes. Number one, emergency treatment. Something goes, and I'm also for diagnostics. If I'm getting some kind of symptoms, take the nitroglycerin, they go away. It's like, get to the hospital, you know? Um, but since we do all this work out in the field, it seems, you want to take every advantage you can. And not too bad, wage slave. I hate celery. It has nitrate.
Oh yeah, tons of celery salt is what they use. You see all those uncured or no nitrates
Yeah.
things that are cured with celery salt. They're cured with celery salt because celery has crap tons of nitrates. So does kale.
Well, there's a difference between nitrates and nitrites.
Yeah, but it's used as a curing agent.
Yeah, I agree. You will see the CG going up and down, not up, 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 up. If you climb a 200-foot high hill, like we were doing, yeah, it's a whole lot different than being on a treadmill. Oh, so some guy actually tested it. I thought it was a pretty elegant test. He took a little electric powered wheeled vehicle, basically, and he put it on a treadmill at an angle. Then he also ran it up an inclined plane. And yeah, it took more power to go up the inclined plane. Absolutely. But when it's sitting run on a treadmill, the center of gravity isn't moving a bit. But you got all that rolling friction and stuff. Absolutely. And I say, on an incline the treadmill, you have to pick your leg up higher. Absolutely, that's going to be a little bit more, but not lifting your center of gravity in a steady manner against gravity. Yeah, stairs or bleachers, absolutely. Uh, when I when we were down in Montana B, I'd have to climb that 40-foot ladder. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a bit different. I'd get pretty tuckered.
Gee, when the bunny ranchers aren't taking care of the 50 bunny, they
Yeah.
go cow cuddle.
How
Uh,
cuddling, huh?
yeah, to remove themselves from stress.
That cow is slobbering.
Yeah, cows will do that.
I do not like the idea of cuddling a slobbering cow.
I don't like the idea. I don't see the point in cow cuddling. Oh, uh, it is a really it was quite a hike this week.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Saturday, according to the tracker on my phone, my pedometer tracker, we did 1.85 miles, and most of it was uphill all way.
Either uphill, downhill, or side hill, but not much
Let me put
flat.
it this way: it felt like it was uphill coming and going. Don't ask me how that works, but it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, moo moo. You wouldn't believe these cows. Apparently, cow cuddling has become a okay. And this cow is drooling. We're not talking a little bit. It's massive slobber.
No, 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 no. Uh, uh. Oh my goodness. Oh well, I say not much news from Central America yet. Things still proceeding as far as I can tell, but no news. Waiting for assays to come back on this stuff. You take care, Jean-Francois. So, um, that's about it. Hopefully, we'll have some more news. Did you ever figure out the titration why it was cloudy? As I have had the same result. My guess is, John, that the silver nitrate that you're titrating with, once you have done titrated the Eco Goldex, if you don't have some other indicator and you do have some chloride in your system, it'll turn into silver chloride, and that's why it will get that white cloudy
That's
stuff.
kind of what we're figuring, John. I still have that particular thing that still has the material in it. It looks like some fluoride. Wow. That's a lot, Rock Butcher, and I totally believe it. I mean, there was one day when I left my tracker on and I had about 10,000 steps without trying it.
Man, that's rough, Rock. Wow.
Yeah, in an old age home, it works out to. Yeah, and you're not just doing. You're doing all kinds of heavy stuff in those homes on a lot of occasions.
Yeah.
Try moving old people around when they don't want to move.
Hey, wait a minute. I resemble that remark.
I'm sure you do. Oh, and the bunny people say that the cows that they go to cuddle are
Yes.
at a cow sanctuary.
Is that sanctuary to keep them from predatory cuddlers?
No, that sanctuary is they rescue dairy cows, and they rescue. They're a cow rescue, so the cows can live out their happy lives because you know a cow can live to be 35 years old.
Yeah. You know how many past their prime dairy cows there are?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No point in pointing that out to cow sanctuary. We have them in America too.
I
This
don't
one's
doubt
in
it.
Britain. We get up there where we just were. That last video is part of that Montana Bee complex. There's no free meal there that anybody can get.
Yeah.
And yeah, Rock, these ones are British ones, and actually they are fighting to preserve small farms in England because they're fighting right now against government regulation that's trying to shut down British farming.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff that we sampled this weekend up there, it had some really fine gold, not much that we could see, but there might be a whole bunch that we can't see. Okay, just way too fine. It was also sliming up pretty badly. Hard to get the water clear.
Ooh.
And
now the bunny fans and the cow fans are duking it out in the comments as to which one's better to cuddle. I'm sorry, cows are not cuddling.
Well, if you're going to do it inside, I would suggest the rabbit.
Oh. Somebody tried to chime in and say chicken cuddling is good. You should go to a chicken rescue, and everyone told them they were old. I don't think it's going to be high tonnage no matter what, Shiny. Santa shows purple and faint yellow. That sounds like gold there, John. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like small farms too, Rock.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's great. And these people are actually vegetarians. Somebody just asked them about that. And so are the people that run the cow sanctuary.
Yeah, Honey Bunny, it's only the first pair that cost a fortune. After that, it's just a matter of feed.
The cows are rescues from slaughter and rescues from dairy.
Rock says sound is cutting in and out on his end right now. Is anyone else having sound issues? Or is it just the internet over by Rock? Oh, my goodness. And for all of you who think you're going to have a rough day tomorrow, I have to get her out of the house at 8 o'clock in the morning. Actually, a little bit before 8 o'clock in the morning. So if we're not back next week, you'll know what happened. It's a sad, sad thing. Okay. Anybody's getting good down. Well, thank you, Shiny. I appreciate it. We're doing pretty good as it is, but I appreciate the call it well wishes or whatever, because a lot of times it's hard to tell what the good path is. It may not look that appealing initially, but it turns out real well. So, as I say, I do appreciate that.
Oh, good grief. Here's a person who insists that cows are curious, alert, mischievous, and highly emotional creatures.
What are?
Cows.
Mischievous? Okay.
Curious, alert, mischievous, and highly emotional. She has several that are pets.
Well.
Oh, pheasants are amazing. Ooh, yummy.
Yeah, the principal on these mining claims we've been doing most work on, one time, a cow managed to get over by the mill and mess things up, you know. And I said, what is, what is it with cows? Is it like breaking things their hobby? And he says, no, it's their mission. Because he used to do ranching back when, I'll take his word for it. Uh, you know,
It's amazing the number of cow cuddlers that are out there.
I believe they do, Jeff. Um, and it depends on what kind you got. I know Californians are pretty good. New Zealand are the bigger ones, but they 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 both they're all prolific.
Yeah,
That's pretty good, honey bunny.
pretty much cows.
Good idea, Shiny. Now's a good time to do all the research and stuff to figure out how to process instead. Oh, it's nice not to have time pressures, Shiny. Oh, yeah, I figured that's what you were saying, Shiny. Yeah, um, that's should be some good stuff. I say now's a good time to work on a laboratory scale to figure out what's the best way to get it and everything like that. My brother's bull bashed in the front of his truck, just playing around. Jeez. Uh,
Yep.
like nails out of cow hooves, huh? Uh,
Oh yeah. And you'll see it. You'll see it with horses too.
anyhow, uh, I'll try and have more exciting news next week, but it is nice being out in the field and sleeping in the bago again, having nice scenery and quiet, things like that. And I say it's nice to get out and do something again.
Oh yeah. It was great.
I don't know about TNT, Shiny. Depends on the rock. Unless you need a really high velocity, I'd go more with an ANFO and just use TNT for the boosters. You know, uh, the higher gas volume can be useful with softer rock. Harder rock, you need the high detonation velocity. Uh, anyhow, anyone else got any subjects to bring up or questions? Yeah, it's also pretty cheap, honey bunny. But it doesn't have the highest velocity. If you get really hard rock, it
Oh good grief! That has got to be AI.
it can not work too well.
A squirrel with a rat's tail. People are claiming rats are mating with squirrels and making hybrids.
Yeah, in general, honey bunny, you can usually make up a concoction that will shiny Eva thinks silver's going to be up there about $35 this summer.
Yep.
Yeah, and you have to keep it away from the water, John. Although I've used Anfo, not emulsion. I'm not sure exactly what it was. It looked like uh, cottage cheese mixed in Jello.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, there's ways to deal with it. But getting the ammonium nitrate um, will lower your costs if you can make it work. They even have it now where, well, now years ago, where they had um, basically explosive condoms. You know, where you sit there and you pump out the drill hole just before you load it, and slide the plastic tube down there, and fill it up with ANFO just like you would a dry hole. I think it was an emulsion that we were using, Rock. I know it was so insensitive they wanted us to double prime it to make sure we shot the hole. You know. You're welcome, Mr. Virtue. I say we're trying to get things going here. Yep, that's fairly common, Rock. It's a good way to go. Say, unless you've got some really hard rock, like a really hard granite, then you may have to go to a Class A just to get enough velocity to go supersonic. You know, ANFO just it's hard to get ANFO over, what is it? What, 14.5? I think in about a 3-inch hole if I remember correctly. But then when you have some granites that are got, sonic velocities of
Really?
15,005, stuff like that, you really need something to really move quick to get the supersonic shock wave for breakage. Yeah. Most rocks work fine with the velocities. Just
Bye-bye.
Works pretty good. That'll work sometimes, rock. If it's just a tougher rock, but not a higher sonic velocity rock. Yep. And the other thing you can do is tighten up your pattern and leave more stemming so that you don't get too much fly. I had to do that one time. Hard basalt, 40 feet from the mill building. Oh my God. We wound up with some pretty big rocks on top, but at least it was sheared at the plane we needed to put the new pond in on. Of the two, it was better to have to deal with big rocks than holes in the mill building. Desert Hot Springs, California. Boy, I have no clue. Stuff like that can easily be well over 1,000 feet. Over in Tucson, the alluvium was 3,000 feet deep or something. It can get pretty insane. Yeah, exactly. They can play some interesting games, Honey Bunny. You know, 3,300 feet. Doesn't surprise me at all, Shiny. But Desert Hot Springs, I doubt it's glacial till. It's just erosional sediments there. Yeah, proper stemming is important. Oh, it can be rock. I think uh, the alluvial soils in the Tucson Basin were over 1,000 feet deep in places, and that's got mountains all around it. You know, the call it basin and range. Nothing. Yeah, you would think so, Rock. It would take a lot. Well, another thing, Rock. I mean, like down there in the Wits Water Strand, they've got to go through. Yeah, what was it? 3,000 feet of saturated karst to get to good solid bedrock that they can drive a shaft directly through. That's where that company's cementation came out. They learned how to inject grout and basically make an artificial column of concrete with rock in places so that they could drive the shaft through that. I mean, that's a pretty tough challenge to go through saturated karst. For those of you who don't know, karst is cavernous limestone, where you got caves and stuff through it, and then the whole thing is totally filled with groundwater. Like, trying to go down through river gravels under the river, sort of thing. So that's
which leads me to a question.
What?
If the Ohio cavern or Carlsbad cavern became filled with water again, with stalactites,
depending upon the actual chemistry of the water itself, they could. Yep.
Well, that would suck.
Well, ain't gonna happen. There's lots of places in the world where the caves are completely filled with water.
Well, I think there's some wet areas left in Colossal Cave. There's wet areas, I believe, left in Arch.
Those old timers were hard. Yeah, and they had to deal with some shit sometimes too. West Refronten one time got a leak that it was, I think it was dumping 16 million gallons a day and down one of their shafts, and they had to get that plugged. And believe you me, working upstream against 16 million gallons a day is not easy, and it's even harder when you got 100-mile-an-hour wind being caused by the Venturi effect of that water going down the shaft. They had people in harnesses. They'd have to winch them in and winch them out. It was quite the deal. But they managed to get the leak plugged. Once they plugged it, they poured enough concrete to make sure it stayed plugged. So, yeah, that was quite a challenge there. Anyhow, anything else? And by the way, thanks for all the help, Rock. That's I'm not a geologist, so it helps to have someone who knows what they're looking at, kind of double check my thinking. I appreciate it. Well, actually, what they did muscle up was they built 2 sets of forms 10 feet apart with big holes in it. They put pipes in the holes, put valves on the pipes, left the valves open, filled between the forms with concrete, let it set, then closed the valves, backed up 10 feet, did it again, 10 feet again, 50 feet of concrete in there. Well, that was undesirable, Rock. That Q Creek mine was a pretty close call. They managed to get the guys out of that too. They drilled into a pre-existing working that was flooded, and got a little problem. Oh, mining can get interesting, Mr. Virtue. If you like boredom, underground mining is not the best job. Okay? Surface mining, not so bad. driving equipment, stuff like that. Usually it's not too exciting surface. If it is, something has gone horribly awry. But the underground life can get real interesting. You know, I mean, my worst day, I almost got killed or maimed 3 times in one shift. Walked out literally with a scratch.
Yep. You've told that story a zillion times.
Yep.
Doesn't need a mining submarine. Well,
I don't know. I prefer not to have to need a mining submarine. Yep, exactly. Shiny. Look at what Rock said.
yeah.
Yeah.
That it does.
I said it's a different game. It's really a different game. So, yeah, when you're underground, it's a different world. So, anyhow, any other subjects or anything people would like to talk about? Uh, yep. I hope you guys get some rain up there, Rock. How bad's the air quality? I usually don't have too much trouble when we get forest fires around here, but some people really bothers. Forbidden subject right now. Okay, hold on just a second, Honey Bunny. We'll check. Uh, anyhow, well, since I don't see any new subjects coming up, I guess you can go ahead and post, Honey Bunny. And yeah, that's what I was thinking, Rock. Uh, I'm in the watchful waiting phase myself right now, Honey Bunny. No more s'mores for the kids. Yeah. Okay, Shiny. Joshua Tree next weekend. Be careful. Plenty of water. It's going to be hot. I guess we'll call it a night, everybody. Thank you for showing up. Again, I'll try and have some more exciting stuff next weekend, and hopefully we'll have some results. But until then, we're just kind of doing this.
Well, good night, everybody.
Happy prospecting.